petroleum products or these fossil fuels? What are the methods we have to use it? Are you able to hear me or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Monita, where you were there? You were not there in the 3 o'clock class? Monita,
Yes, ma'am.
where you were? 3 o'clock?
Ma'am, I was having net show.
Don't tell all such reasons. Okay. So write down the few ways by which we can conserve fossil fuels. We can conserve energy. Ways to conserve energy. So first one. What is the first one?
And by using
Energy. Using
solar panels instead of petroleum.
solar energies. Okay. Use inexhaustible energy resources like solar energy. Second one, switch off lights, fans, electrical appliances, TV sets.
Ma'am,
Yes,
by taking short showers.
when not in use. By taking,
Short showers.
okay, yeah, water will be saved. Use CFLs or LEDs instead of conventional bulbs. Use public transport or carpool. Fifth one, switch off engine at traffic signals.
To fix the leakage water taps.
Reduce use of water and avoid wastage. Drive vehicle at moderate speed. Avoid overuse of cooking gas. Regular maintenance of vehicles or servicing of vehicles. Regular servicing of vehicles. Walk for the shorter distances or use cycle for shorter distances. Use cycle or walk for shorter distances.
By using natural light.
Okay.
Could you explain us?
Completed?
Yes, ma'am.
मैसेज कर चुके हैं तुमको. Yes, completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next part is the same chapters is continuation. In some book it is the same chapter, some book it is the next chapter. That is combustion, flame, fuels. Some book it is the same chapter continuation. And some book it is a different chapter, but all are continuous. They are the same linked with each other. So now you have learned right now the history or the types of fossil fuels, that is coal and petroleum. Now the use of these coal and petroleum, that is we use this coal and petroleum by using by one chemical reaction they undergoes, that is we call as combustion. So all these fossil fuels undergoes a chemical process called as combustion, and due to which they produce heat energy, and that heat energy is used at different places. For whatever the use, we are using the fossil fuels wherever we use it. Yeah, tell me the use of all fossil fuels. So coal and petroleum, where we use?
LPG for cooking.
LPG for cooking we are using, okay. In vehicles we use it, petrol, diesel we use in vehicles.
Kerosene, like for laundry, for dry cleaning.
Kerosene is also a fuel for, kerosene is not for dry cleaning, petrol is for dry cleaning. So kerosene is used as a jet fuel, as well as for cooking stove we use it. Thermal power stations we use this. Again, it is candle which is prepared from this paraffin wax. When it is burnt, it also produces heat and light energy. What's going on? Samiksha, unmute your mic. Okay, so all these purposes, how we are using the fossil fuel, that is by burning it. We burn it and it produces heat energy. So that heat energy is used up for all these purposes. So petrol is burnt and it produces heat energy. So on that heat energy is used in vehicles to move the wheels. Jet fuels also, it is burned. The large amount of heat energy is produced. On that heat energy only the jet is also working. Cooking gas also, you know, that is when we burn it with the help of lighter, matchstick, we burn it, it will start producing a flame. Over that flame, the heat is produced. So we use that heat energy to cook the food. So all these purposes, even in a thermal power plants also, we heat this, burn these natural gases or the fossil fuels, coal or natural gas is burnt. Then the large amount of heat is produced. So that heat energy is used to boil the water. Water gets converted into steam, and that steam is used to run the turbines and to produce electrical energy. Electric energy is produced by using that steam. For the formation of steam, heat is needed. Who is providing heat? These fossil fuels are providing heat. So all these fossil fuels are used for formation of heat energy, production of heat energy. So this process of burning any substance, whether it is a fossil fuel or in general we are learning, fossil fuels also we use by the process of combustion. So now what exactly combustion means? So combustion is any chemical process. It is one chemical process. In common words, we use the word as burning. So burning means reaction with atmospheric oxygen gas. So any substance when combined chemically, react chemically with atmospheric oxygen and produce large amount of heat energy. This process is called as combustion process. Are you able to understand what do you mean by combustion? So combustion is a chemical process in which any substance reacts with atmospheric oxygen and produce large amount of heat energy. So this process is called as combustion. And the substance which undergoes the combustion, which can easily burn in air and produce large heat energy, that substance we call as combustible substances. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, mom.
So what is combustion?
When a substance
Hmm?
gets produces heat when gets contacted with atmospheric oxygen.
Reacted. Which when it reacts with atmospheric oxygen, it produces heat energy. So this process is called as uh, combustion process. Just like you have seen candle. Candle when burned means what? When we connect the matchstick. So what is happening there in that process? In that exactly at that position, what is happening? The chemical present, that wax is present. The candle is made up of that wax. So that wax first melts liquid state and then slowly it will combine with the atmospheric oxygen and forms carbon dioxide and water will be formed. Along with that, large amount of heat energy is produced. So when we take our fingers near large, it will not be much more larger that it will harm us, but it can produce. So when we take our hand near the candle flame, we will burn our hands. We will feel warmer nearby. You can say, take the example of this one, what we call as burning of a wood, bonfire. Whenever we go to the picnic at the night, generally we make a bonfire. We sit beside it, or in a winter season, we generally make a bonfire. We burn wood. So what happens? Sitting beside that burning wood, we feel warmer. In the winter season, generally we do that. So that is we can feel warmer. So how can we feel warm? Because when the wood is burnt, it will produce heat energy. And when we are sitting nearby, so that heat energy is absorbed by our body. So therefore we feel hotter, warmer. It's clear? So burning of a wood, even the cooking also, when we do cooking, this LPG is burnt. We can see that is a flame is produced at the bottom. We can see the flame is produced. Over that flame, we are keeping some of the container having water. So after some time, water starts boiling. How can the water starts boiling? Because it is absorbing heat energy from that LPG gas, burning of the LPG gas. So here the chemical reaction is happening. in which these substances are combining with atmospheric oxygen. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And the heat energy is produced. So that process is called as combustion, and the substance which follow this part, that means they undergo this process, are called as combustible substances. And which don't do this, which are not able to combine with atmospheric oxygen easily, those we call as non-combustible substances. Just like glass, when you heat a glass, is it happening that is it will produce a large amount of heat energy?
No, ma'am.
When you
No,
burn
ma'am.
a sand, will it produce heat energy?
No, mom.
No, it will not produce. So that means these substances, soil, when we burn a soil, is it happen that is a forest fires are there, the sand, land get heated up, is it happening?
No, ma'am.
Land is not producing heat energy. When the wood is burning, wood is producing heat energy, not the land. So land is not, soil is not combining with oxygen. So therefore it is a non-combustible substance. Clear? So combustion means the chemical process in which the substances react with oxygen to produce heat is called as combustion. The substance which undergo combustion is called a combustible substance, and also it is called as a fuel. Fuels are those substances which produce heat energy. Those are called fuels. So combustible substances are producing heat energy when they react with atmospheric oxygen. So therefore they are called as fuels also. Sometimes light is also produced during combustion, either as a flame or as a glow. Either as a flame it will produce or it will start glowing, just like a candle glows. Candle produce a flame. Glowing, that means in case of a charcoal, when it is burned, it will become red hot. So red hot is become, that means flame is not produced, but it becomes red hot. That means it starts glowing. And very important is it has to react with oxygen. So that oxygen should be the oxygen from the air. So therefore air is necessary for the combustion. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Combining with normal oxygen which is produced by any chemical reaction is not called as combustion. Combustion means only when it combines with atmospheric oxygen. Not with the oxygen is produced by any reaction and with that oxygen this substance is combining and producing something else. No, that is not the combustion. Have you seen burning of magnesium magnesium ribbon in metals and
Yes, ma'am.
non-metals?
Yes, ma'am.
Magnesium
Yes,
ribbon.
ma'am.
When we keep it over the flame of the candle or a spirit lamp, after some time it will start glowing and producing a white dazzling flame. That is also, it was combining with the atmospheric oxygen. So magnesium combines with oxygen and form magnesium oxide. And the light energy is produced and the heat energy is also produced. Because of the heat energy, only light energy is produced. So therefore, the burning of magnesium ribbon is also a combustion process. Burning of a wood is a combustion process. Burning of LPG, combustion process. Running a vehicle, vehicles also run moving of the vehicle. That is because the petrol or a diesel in the vehicle is burning and they produce heat energy. On that heat energy that gets converted into some other form of energy, and by which the wheels start rotating.
Ma'am, plastic.
Plastic do not undergo combustion process. It will melt after heating. They won't react with oxygen. They melt when you heat it, they become soft and start melting. So they don't undergo that chemical process. That means producing heat energy. They won't produce heat energy.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The next is combustible and non-combustible. The substance which burn in air to produce heat and light are called as combustible substances. Wood, when we burn, it produces heat and light energy sometimes. Charcoal will not produce light, but will glow, start glowing. But large amount of heat energy is produced. So therefore, it is a combustible substance. LPG is a combustible substance. This is a lantern. Last class, I was able to trying to tell you. So this was, anyone has seen this? Nowadays we generally don't use.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have seen it.
Yeah, this is a glass container. The flame is produced. This is a tank. Lower tank is there. In that kerosene is added, and that kerosene, using kerosene, there is a one wick is present, just like we have diya. like that. Here is a wick, so that wick will burn by absorbing kerosene. So actually here also the kerosene is burning in air. Okay, so air is supplied from these holes. At the top there is some holes, through that air enters, and here the burning process takes place. Candle, that is again the combustion process. When candle burns, that is also a combustion process, and therefore candle is also combustible substance. Natural gas, compressed natural gas, that is CNG, also undergoes the combustion process before using. So when these fossil fuels, when burnt, they produce heat energy. So that is the reason for the production of heat energy only we use these substances. So therefore these are called as fuels. Just write down these 2 points.
Ma'am, is sodium a combustible substance?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Done?
Oh, ma'am.
Have you completed? Do faster. There are not much lines to write. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then after this, the ignition temperature or the necessity of the combustion. So for the combustion, what is necessary? We know that is air is required for the combustion, because air consists of oxygen. So this in the combustion, substance combines with atmospheric oxygen only. So for that, air is necessary. How to check that is air is necessary for the combustion process? So that is, you can do this activity. So this is activity. Here we have to place a candle. Over that we have to place a glass jar, but we have to keep it over the wooden block. We have to keep wooden blocks. So that means here is the basement, over that wooden blocks, and inside that the candle, and over that we have to place the glass jars. Glass jar we have to this will invert it. So in this case, what will happen? Will the candle keep burning or will extinguished?
Ma'am, it will not be burning
It will not burn. Why?
because there's absence of oxygen.
Wooden block we are keeping there. Over the wooden block, we have placed this cylinder. We have to place it over the wooden jar. So wooden blocks are there. So that means this is a surface. Over these are the two wooden blocks. We have to place it. Here also the same. Some height, and over that we have to keep a glass jar. And here is the candle is placed. Will it burn or will it extinguished?
It will burn
Why?
because there's oxygen.
So from the lower portion there is some space through which the oxygen can enter. Here the oxygen can enter from this area. Air can enter, so it will keep on glowing. Now remove this wooden block and directly invert the glass jar.
It will not burn.
The
Then
candle won't burn.
it will burn for some duration, for 5 to 10 seconds, 30 seconds might be, and then after that it is extinguished. Reason is
Because
There isn't
of
sufficient
the
oxygen.
activity there was little but oxygen, but after some time extinguished.
so it is first the oxygen is available. So using that it will undergo the combustion process. But as soon as the oxygen gets over, that is air gets over from that jar, then it will extinguish. Because, and this shows that for combustion, air is important. Without air, the combustion do not takes place. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So now this is you have done in earlier class itself. Now what do you mean by ignition temperature? So ignition temperature, we know that is every time immediately this LPG burns. When you open the knob, LPG start burning. Will the LPG start burning immediately when you open the knob of the gas stove?
No.
No, ma'am.
When you keep the wood outside for the bonfire, and itself it will catch fire?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No. Matchstick, if you keep it over the matchbox, will it start burning?
No, ma'am.
No. So what is
Needs
necessary here?
Heat.
So we have to provide that substance some amount of heat energy, some frictional force is necessary so that its temperature increases, and then only it will catch fire. Just like we bring a burning matchstick near the LPG, the stove, or we use the lighter. By that way, the energy, so temperature of that LPG is increased to some value, and then only it will start burning. Matchstick also, we have to rub it over the side face. Side face has a frictional area, so it is a rough surface. So whenever matchstick is rubbed over the rough surface, it will start burning. Because of that rubbing, the friction increases. Friction between the front surface of the matchstick and the matchbox increases, due to which the temperature of the substance which is present over the matchbox, stick, there is a one black substance you have seen. So that black substance is a phosphorus or some other chemicals they have used it. Earlier it was sulfur. Now after that they have started using phosphorus. Nowadays I don't know what is they are using. So when we rub it, due to friction, so temperature of the stick will increase, and that at that temperature only the matchstick will start burning. So that means any substance needs temperature of that substance has to be increased then only it will start burning into air and produce flame or a glow. So that minimum temperature required for the substance to undergo burning or catch fire, that is called as ignition temperature. So different substances burn in air at different temperatures. So that minimum temperature required for the substance at which it catches fire, that temperature is called as ignition temperature. Just like a magnesium ribbon also, it won't immediately start burning with a and do not produce white flame. We have to keep it over the candle flame for some duration, then only it will catch. Even in the firecrackers also, so firecrackers also directly, they are combustible substances, but directly they won't glow. So we have to bring either incense stick, we bring it closer, or candle, we bring it closer, then only they will catch fire and produce sound energy, light and sound energy they produce. So that means the temperature of that combustible substance has to be increased. So the minimum temperature to be increased, that temperature has to be increased, and then only that substance will catch fire. So that temperature is called as ignition temperature. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So different substances have different ignition temperatures. Some will burn very quickly, some needs more time. Just like LPG, only one lighter strike is enough, it will catch fire. The matchstick, we have to keep rubbing over the side edge of the matchbox. Kerosene immediately take faster burn, it will start burning very fast. When a single matchstick is needed near the kerosene, it will start burning. Petrol also start burning very fastly. Some of the substances, but the magnesium case we have to, or firecrackers, that's full jari firecracker we are using it, we have to keep holding over the candle for a longer duration. It will take some time. After that only it will catch fire. Immediately it won't catch fire. Immediately we kept on the this one burning matchstick and it glows. Is it happening?
No, ma'am.
No, it's first it has to be heated to increase its temperature, and then when it reaches that ignition temperature of that itself, then only it will catch fire. Is it clear? So ignition temperature is the minimum temperature at which the substance catches fire and burns, is called as ignition temperature. The substance will not catch fire and burn if the temperature is lower than ignition temperature. Just like the LPG, whenever there is a leakage, but if there is temperature of that LPG has not risen, then it will not catch fire until or unless any burning part is coming in contact with it, then only it will burn. Petrol also kept at petrol tank, will it burn immediately?
No, ma'am.
Petrol present in the vehicle, will it burn immediately?
No, ma'am.
You have to give kick to the vehicle, or the now we have the automatic start, by we have to kick it, or we have to press the button, then only its temperature increases, because the friction takes place, temperature increases, and then only it will start burning inside the vehicle. So that will happen with everything. So all these, the candle also, when we keep a candle, will it burn immediately?
No, ma'am.
We have to bring a burning matchstick near it, then only it will start glowing. So that means temperature has to be increased to that ignition temperature. If till the substance reaches the ignition temperature, the substance won't burn. So wood also won't burn easily. So what we do? We pour kerosene over it or petrol over it, or we bring that kapoor, which we use it in a puja, so that we add more in the wood, then only it will start burning. Or paper, burning paper we keep below the wood, then only the wood will catch fire, because burning paper increases the temperature of the wood, and the wood will reach its ignition temperature, then only it will start burning. Clear? So
Yes, ma'am.
so the different substances have different ignition temperatures. Now there are some substances which catch fire very easily, very quickly. So very little amount of increment in the temperature is needed, so that immediately they catch fire. So such substances which we call as inflammable substances, just like a petrol. Just single matchstick itself we throw into the container having petrol, immediately it will this will explode. That container will explode. It immediately catches fire. The full liquid petrol will catch fire immediately, very quickly. So therefore it is called as inflammable substance. It's clear? So the substances which have very low ignition temperature and can easily catch fire with a flame are called as inflammable substances. Inflammable, that means doesn't mean it is won't undergoes combustion. It will undergo combustion very quickly. Quick combustion takes place. So those substances are called inflammable substances. Writing in before doesn't mean it is the opposite. Most of the students have this confusion in writing answers. Also, they do this mistake. I've seen many times. Inflammable means the substance which catch fire very easily, very quickly, because they have their low ignition temperature. Clear? So for example, petrol, alcohol, LPG, CNG, these all are inflammable substances. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now there is one activity. Yes.
And then flammable are the substances that do not catch.
Flammable, inflammable, both are same.
Oh, okay.
The substances which produce flame, they are called flammable. Inflammable is also the which produce more faster flame, more quicker. Okay. Now there is one. This one activity is there. Take a paper cup. Paper, convert into the paper cups. Take a paper cup and keep it over candle. What will happen?
There'll be a black color hole kind of thing, and then it burns the.
It will burn immediately. Now, in that paper cup, place water, add water, and then hold it over the candle. Will it burn?
No.
No, ma'am.
Couple of seconds.
It won't burn. It will not convert into flame. That is because when there is no water, the paper will absorb heat energy from the candle, reaches its ignition temperature, and then start burning, catches fire and start burning. But in other case, what is happening, although it is a paper, you are keeping over the candle, but in that case, whatever the amount of heat energy provided by the candle flame is absorbed by the paper, but immediately it will transfer that heat energy to water. So due to presence of water, the heat energy of that paper cup is transferred, absorbed by the water. So therefore, due to presence of water, due to absorbing heat energy, the paper cup won't reach its ignition temperature, and therefore it will not catch fire. Is it clear? And even we can boil water in that cup also. Are you able to understand this? So reaching ignition temperature is important for catching fire by any substance.
Ma'am, is paper a good conductor of heat?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
not good conductor of heat. It will absorb, the water will absorb the heat from that this one, from that cup. Water is absorbing the heat energy. It is not transferring it, it is absorbing. Water will absorb the heat energy.
Ma'am, but when water is not there, like you said that it will absorb heat, no, ma'am.
Temperature will increase, no? Absorb, but not conduct.
Okay, ma'am.
Absorbing is different phenomenon, conducting is different phenomenon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So write down these points. Combustible substances. Combustible substances, this one you written right. Ignition temperature.
The oxygen one.
Not into that one. That you know now. Yeah, Sunday you will be having cell chapter test.
Okay, ma'am.
Maths test is not there, cell will be there.
Now objective or subjective?
Subjective.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you say I was not able to hear? Objective or subjective, ma'am?
Subjective. Sunday.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, timings.
The same as last time. 11:30.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Completed?
Oh, ma'am.
Next part is condition necessary for combustions. So any substance undergoes combustion. The first condition necessary is the presence of air. If air is available, then only the substance undergoes combustion, because oxygen is needed. Oxygen comes from the air. So first important thing is air. Second important thing, that substance should be combustible. That means it has a property of undergoing the reaction with oxygen. Otherwise, if it is a non-combustible substance, it won't undergo the combustion process, right? And the third is the ignition temperature. The substance has to reach its ignition temperature, then only it will undergo combustion process. Otherwise, if it has not reached ignition temperature, then it won't undergo the combustion process. So 3 points important for the substance, 3 conditions necessary for the substance to undergo the combustion. That is, one is air. Second one is having the combustible substance. The substance should be combustible substance, or that is we call as fuels. So it should be a fuel. That is, it should be a combustible substance. And the third one is it should reach its ignition temperature. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So if any one of these 3 conditions are not present, then the substance won't undergo combustion. So write down this point.
Ma'am, is there any substance that how much ever you heat, like to so much temperature, it does not absorb the heat at all?
Soil.
Ma'am?
Soil.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Soil, sand.
Ma'am, but sand gets heated, right?
Heated up. Won't burn. It won't burn. It will only get heated up, absorbs heat energy.
Oh. Even soil also, ma'am.
Soil also might get heated up, but it will not burn. It will not undergo chemical reaction.
Okay, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Now, if the fires are created by this, the combustible substance is there, oxygen was there. Now, somewhere the fire has cracked up. Now, how to extinguish that fire? So, there are different ways by which we can extinguish the fire. So, that depends on what is the combustible substances present in that. So, how to extinguish fire? The next part is how to extinguish the fire. So, what we have to do? These are the 3 conditions necessary for combustion process, right? Fuel, air, and ignition temperature. These are the 3 things. So one of the thing is not available, then substance won't burn. So that means we can immediately extinguish that fire catched when the substance start burning. So if there is a fire, already fire is cracked, then it is a fire is there, large amount, any house is put up into the fire. Now how to prevent, how not prevent it, how to extinguish that fire? So one thing, already that house has a fuel, that fuel we can't cut off. So fuel part, we can't work on the fuel part to extinguish fire. Now we have to work on the 2 things. That is, one is the air, supply of air, oxygen, and the second one is ignition temperature. Okay. Now, if the fire is not due to electrical appliance, by anything, the wood start burning or something has started burning, because of that it has taken place, there is no any electrical equipment involved in that fire, then you can extinguish that fire by 2 way. One is by pouring water over that, or the second one pouring sand over that area. If it is a small scale, means it is a very small part is there, then we can pour sand over it. Or if it is in a larger quantity, that means a full house started burning, then all full wood started burning. So at that time we can pour water over it. So now by doing this to what we are actually doing, pouring water, what we are doing,
Extin-
I'm reducing the water or the fire.
reducing the ignition temperature.
Of the fire.
reducing the ignition temperature. So due to water, the temperature cools down. That combustible substances temperature decreases. Now ignition temperature, that substance has not reached ignition temperature, so therefore fire is put off. Or by adding the sand also the same thing happen. By adding sand, what will happen? The air supply is cut off. So air is not available. So air is not available, so therefore the combustion won't take place. Even any person catched fire, caught into the fire, for him we use blankets. We tell him to roll into the blanket, or we cover him with the blankets, original blankets, original wool blankets. So there also what we are doing, wool is a bad conductor of heat energy. So therefore it is immediately will not allow the heat energy to enter, means the temperature will not increase, one. And the second thing is supply of air is completely prevented, means it's completely stopped. So no supply of air, completely blanket, so that means it will no supply of air is present. So therefore that person's fire, catch fire will immediately put off. Okay, so three things we can do it for extinguishing fire which are not due to electrical appliance. But in case of electrical appliance, we can't use these three. Water we can't use in case of the fire due to electrical appliance. Reason is water, generally tap water, not the distilled water we don't use. We generally use the tap water, has some minerals, and due to presence of those minerals and some salts, water becomes conductor, good conductor of electricity. So when you pour water on the fire, which is due to the electrical damaging the electrical appliances, so in that case, the water immediately carries that current to a longer distance. The people are standing in that water, so they will immediately get the shock. So it is much more damaging, dangerous part. So therefore, whenever there is a fire break because of the electrical appliance, we should not use water. Either we can use sand, or the second thing is we can use the fire extinguishers made up of carbon dioxide. So that means they gives out carbon dioxide gases. So fire extinguishers we use which have carbon, when we press those fire extinguishers, so those fire extinguishers, the handy ones, have the solid carbon dioxide is present. So when we press it, the pressure over that solid carbon dioxide releases, and that carbon dioxide gets converted into gaseous state, and then it will completely form the blanket over that fire. So due to which the oxygen supply is stopped. So due to the presence of carbon dioxide, oxygen will not react with that combustible, that fuel, and due to which it is extinguished fire. It extinguishes the fire. It's clear? So carbon dioxide, when sprinkled, means spread over the fire, that is combustible substance, it will form the blanket, and which prevent the oxygen to come in contact with that fuel. So fuel won't get oxygen, so therefore it will put off fire. The fire will be put off. It's clear? So the different ways to extinguish fire. How do we control fire? The conditions necessary for producing fires are fuel, air, heat. So fire can be controlled by removing any one or more than one conditions. So fire extinguishers cut off the supply of air or brings down the temperature of the fuel, or both. Both will do. The supply of air is cut off or the temperature is also lowered, decreased, or both, and controls the fire. So here by using methods of controlling fire. Yes.
Ma'am, can we use sand when electrical appliances
Yes, you
are
can use. Now I told you one method is using sand.
for fire?
Second one is fire extinguishers. So method of controlling fire, that is by using water. Water is the most common fire extinguisher. It can be used only when materials like wood, paper, etc. are on fire, not the electrical appliances. Here it is already written. Water cannot be used if electrical equipments are on fire because water conducts electricity and can harm those trying to put off the fire. So people standing nearby, they also get the severe shock. So it will be a much more damaging, dangerous.
Ma'am, if it's distilled water, it's fine, ma'am.
Yeah, but this is what where you'll get immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
Water cannot be used to put off oil. Oil also, yeah. Water is also cannot be used for oil or petrol fires. That is because oil is lighter than water. So when you pour water, oil will come again above that. It won't, water will not be above oil. Oil will come above that and will start catching fire immediately there also. In that condition also, the oil will start catching fire. So water will not be useful when there is a fire due to oil or petrol because they float on water and continues to burn. So it will not be put off. And these are highly inflammable. So temperature is very little temperature increment is needed to catch the fire. And by using carbon dioxide is the best fire extinguisher to put off fire caused by inflammable materials like oil and petrol and electrical equipments. Carbon dioxide is heavier than air and it covers the fire and cuts off the supply of oxygen and puts off the fire. Carbon dioxide is stored at high pressure as liquid, not liquid, it is in solid state, solid dry ice form. Cylinders, chemicals like sodium bicarbonate, that is baking soda, and potassium bicarbonate produce carbon dioxide near the fire. So in fire extinguishers, we use generally two chemicals. For earlier fire extinguishers, soda acid fire extinguishers, we use one baking soda and the concentrated sulfuric acid mixtures, we use it for producing carbon dioxide. Okay, fine, it is already 6:08. I will give you this pictures on WhatsApp. You write it down, these 2 points.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And homework, cell chapter, you have not still submitted. Some of the students submit homework.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
evening, ma'am.
evening. Just a sec.